Hi guys, how are you? Courage to Change book study, June 5th. Let's do it, June 5th. The third step talks about placing my will and my life in the care of a higher power. For me, this power is a presence that loves me as I am, that accepts me with compassion on the bad days as well as the good. Once I have accepted that the destructive presence of another's alcoholism has affected my life, I need the benevolent influence of a power untouched by this disease. What I do in turning over my will and my life is to become receptive to guidance. I become willing to accept the care of a power greater than myself. I think of this care as a source of love and support that surrounds me in my daily life. I do not need to earn it or work for it. I need only to be receptive to it. I continue to have a will to exercise and a life to live, but I do so bathed in a light of love and understanding. Today's reminder: when I open my heart to a power that fills me with love and acceptance, I can begin to extend those qualities to others. I may not do it perfectly or even consistently, but I can recognize my progress one day at a time. You know, sometimes I think when I do these readings, I'm actually just translating it to real life. You know, I just love these readings, but come on, sometimes this flowery, bathed in the light of love and understanding, I mean, it just doesn't fit my life. And I know, I hope it does you. You know, like the kitten reading we read a week ago. You know, it's just not me. And I think that's okay. This program's for everybody. And that's why I kind of translate into Karen world, right? Which is a little harsher. You know, I'm a little harsher than most people. And I think it's because I've worked in the industry and I've seen so many people die, right? I have my own peoples, right, that I'm codependent to. And I've had to really get honest with myself. So in my translations of this about, you know, some people come to Al-Anon and or any kind of 12-step program, and they think it's about God. And it's not about God. It's not about a God. It's about, right here, it says, I need the benevolent influence of a power touched by this disease. What I do in turning over my will and my life is to become receptive to guidance. Okay, what that means is open-minded. I have to be open-minded. If you have been living with an alcoholic and addict for a while, or if you have one as a parent, or you know what I mean, and you have been around alcoholism, you become cynical. You become almost like a hater. Like, nothing's gonna help this, right? This is terrible. My life sucks. You don't get it, right? You've been beat down by alcoholism. This disease is not just trying to kill the person who has it. It's trying to kill everybody in its path. Everybody. I'm not kidding. Communities, businesses, families, marriages, right? So I have to be open-minded, and it's really begging me, God, Karen, please, we know you've given up hope. You've been beat down by this disease. You've been lied to, manipulated, gaslighted, right? You've been robbed. You've been, you know, financially. You've been, you know, kids selling off parents' laptops and their means of support. You know, parents having to take out second mortgages to get their kids through treatment. You know, I can go on and on and on and on why people are cynical. You know, this isn't going to work. It's asking me to be open-minded. So step one is, there's a problem. I have a problem. My life's unmanageable. I am powerless over people, places, and things. And alcoholism, even though it's in someone else. I am powerless. I'm stuck. I'm fucked. Whatever you want to say. That's step one. Step two, there seems to be a huge movement of people in Al-Anon and Nar-Anon that have found a way out. Right? That's it. Coming to believe there's a power greater than yourself. That's all it is. If you can see that there is a huge movement of people on the planet that have been through what you've been through or worse. I know that seems impossible, But I wonder if I need to move, for this gardener is like circling me. I came here, I parked in a shaded spot so I could do this quietly. I love doing it in my car because there's no interruptions and it's quiet. And then all of a sudden, a gardener in front of me, a gardener behind me, they're circling me. Now one's backing right up to me. Good Lord, could they just come to the window and ask me to move? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, hang on, I'm not done. Oh, this guy, why don't they just ask me to move instead of intimidating me by getting 2 inches from my bumper? Oh, I need a power greater than myself right now. These idiots. Did I say that? Why didn't they just ask me to move? They're like pushing me out of the way. Have a good day. Oh my God. I'm crazy. So anyway, so can I be open-minded? Can I just be open-minded? I can't even be open-minded about this. So how am I going to be open-minded about my loved one, right? How am I going to be open-minded to a new idea? That's step 2, is that a group of people have found a way out, right? So I believe that. I believe that there's people in Al-Anon and Nar-Anon that have found a power greater than themselves that can restore them to sanity. I believe that. Now, step 3 is, can I be open-minded enough, right? I talked about this yesterday, about that little chink in the armor, that little crack the cockroach gets through, right? See, my description of this is a lot different than the benevolent light of love, bathed in love and understanding, right? I'm talking about cockroaches and little, let's get honest here. Do I believe, is it possible at all that what all those other people found that I see in step 2, they found an answer? Is it possible that it could work for me? Am I willing to just be, is there a little hope there? That's what step 3 is. Am I willing? So turning my life and will over to the care of God doesn't happen one time. For me, it happens every day. You just saw me. You just saw how I reacted, right? I don't know why that happened. Maybe it's so you could see real life, benevolent, bathing in light and understanding. Life is difficult sometimes, right? You got the best intentions, and you're getting squeezed out by gardeners on both sides that are too intimidated to come to the window and knock, right? Life is happening. Can I turn my will and my life over to the care of God? Can I just say, okay, there's got to be something better than Karen's idea. I'm willing. And you know what? I know you can. You know how I know? Because you sign on to this book club. This book club is a power greater than yourself. There's a bunch of people on here talking about their experience. Got a little quiet yesterday. Hopefully people speak up today. But this is a power greater than yourself, right? Together, we're more powerful than alone. Our own thinking, things that have happened to us in our childhood, start dictating what we're going to do and what we're going to say and what we shouldn't say and how we should walk around on tiptoes, right? So our thinking isn't always the best, and so we have to get new ideas. Now, I think they come from God, which to me is more of a universal. I don't want to make this too long, but more of a universal thing. Like when I'm a big flower person, you all know that, right? So if you take flowers, if you take a bulb, give me 2 bulbs, right? Maybe I shouldn't use this analogy. I'll use seeds. Give me 2 seeds, right? And one's a rose seed, and one's are tulips and bulbs. I shouldn't have used this analogy. Let's use trees. So you got 2 trees. Do you know which one's the oak and which one's the fir? No, it does. See, there's an internal nature. It works with flowers too, but I don't know which ones come from bulbs and which ones that come from trees right now, or seeds right now. So it was bad for me to use, but you get the point, right? When something's growing, if you plant it in the earth, I remember my grandma used to have a beautiful garden, big garden, and she had this one section for seeds that she wasn't sure what they were. They either got mixed up into something else, the bag, the cover got ripped off the bag, so she would just plant them. Like, they kind of look like this kind of seed, but maybe they're this. And we'd have like this surprise area, The seed knows. I don't know, but the seed knows. See, nature knows. The universe knows. God knows. That to me is God. That to me is God. The God is like how some people find me that are in Australia, and they come across my video and they meet with me online. We've never met. We become great friends, and they do the steps and change their life. That's God. See, I couldn't have orchestrated that to happen. So I believe in a power greater than myself, and I ask it for help all the time. You know what I mean? Please help me. I mean, really, if you look at what just happened with these gardeners, I did say idiots or whatever I called them, right? Under my breath. Well, of course, I'm on social media. I doubt they're going to see this. And, but when he was done, I waved. I said, and he waved at me. Oh, thank you for moving, right? I handled that pretty well. That's because I have a power greater than myself. Under my own thinking, when I'm in self and in my crisis, I like to say, the crisis of my life that takes over my thinking, and I can't think of anything but that, this person who's in crisis, I would have just like floored my gas and bumped right into him. Like, fuck you, move. What are you doing cramping me in? There's a whole street here, and you guys, I park in one spot. You guys are on both sides of me trying to get me to move. And you can't come to my car? Well then, bam, right? That's Karen's idea. That's living in the problem, which is I have no control over anything, so I'm going to try to get control over something, and I'm going to use resentment and anger. Or I'll be a victim, right? I'll get out of my car. Why are you guys doing this? I parked here. I just wanted to make this video. I'm going to do something. But today what I did was I moved my car and then I waved. Now they don't have to know that I called them an idiot, but I handled it better. That's what happens for me. Because I believe that there's a reason for everything, I do. I can look back in my life and see a thread. I see a thread. Like the situation with my daughter seems unbearable, right? But I know she's meant to be mine. Because years ago, I watched an episode of Murphy Brown where she talked about the Betty Ford Center. And it planted a seed in my head when I was a teenager about treatment centers I'd never heard before. So when it came time through I went to Betty Ford. And then when I went to Betty Ford, I ended up meeting, because, the things that happened prior to my life, I worked at this one place where I had worked out when I lived in the Caribbean. Now I work at the Chart House here, and I meet this one guy, and I have this beautiful child, right? And sometimes because she's so sick, I think, why me? Why me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Why can't I fix this problem? Why can't this be different? Da, 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 da. And so it begins. But I think, oh no, this was all destined to be long ago. And I'm sure you can see that in your life too. So as much as I try to control and aggravate the situations in my life, they're going to go the way they're going to go. And I can either buckle up and enjoy the ride and take care of myself, or I can ruin my life by trying to change things that I have no control of. So, that's just it. I do wear this thing like a loose muumuu. I do try to just take one day at a time, live in the moment, and let God run the show. I'm not a good showrunner. I do much better with a power greater than myself. And today, that's just be open-minded, that there's someone else that has a better way. And you know what I've decided? This is right now a better way. You've heard me talk. You know what I would do. But with help from outside my noggin, new ideas, and I can be open-minded that it just might work for me, my life has changed. That's all it takes. A little chink in that armor of despair. Okay? So just stick with it. If you're here today and you're thinking, I don't know, maybe her, but not me, this can be you. So I want to give you hope today. I want to hear your comments. This was a very exciting one. We had a lot of entertainment value here. So if it's Saturday and you're bored and alone, let's chat it up. Have a great day, guys. Love you.